Hi guys, I'm Dan Hoff, Chief Operating Officer of HoneyStick, and today we are debuting our new product, which is the HoneyStick Plasma 510 tank. Now, one of the biggest requests that I've received from you guys ever since we launched our original Plasma GQ vape pen for wax and dabs was, why can't you make a top that uses the same type of technology that is optional for my 510 thread mod or high-powered 510 thread battery? So we've gotten a lot of those comments. A lot of them came from you guys here on YouTube on the channel. Definitely thank you for giving us your input. So we have finally brought one to the market, and even before we've gotten this video up, we had on our website for a couple weeks. Immediately, many of you have already flocked to this tank and have already given us a big thumbs up on the way it functions, the way it tastes, and the power that it brings. So this is going to be a very brief video since most of you guys are already familiar with the technology, or you can go on to the Plasma GQ vape pen video to get a lot more details. But I'm going to run through the basics on what the benefits are and just really unbox the tank. Now, I have gone out because I know you guys have put a lot of comments in there that you want to see our wax tanks in action and vape. For reasons, I cannot vape here on the channel for you guys, so I have gone out of the way to make sure that I get this into the hands of some YouTube reviewers who are definitely going to show you guys some clouds, some plumes, really start taking some wax hits and putting these things through the usage test. And if you are a YouTube reviewer and you have a channel with any type of vape content, go ahead, drop me a message in the comments below. I'll get with you and make sure that you can show this off on your channel as well. So let's jump right in. Plasma 510 tank is a Plasma GQ that comes with a 510 thread, mainly for use with digitally adjustable mods, but also some high-powered 510 thread batteries can also apply. Now, the operating range for this tank is 30 to 45 watts. So if your vape battery does not go up to a minimum of 30 watts, you are probably going to either have to get a bigger battery or go for a different tank or pick up the plasma kit that comes with a vape pen and battery if you want this type of technology. Now let's take it out of the box, show you guys what we got going on. Now, for those of you who don't know, the plasma tank became famous because it was the first available dab and wax vape pen kit that did not use a direct coil touching the product technology. So it's what we here at HoneyStick call a NCC, a non-contact coil. So the coil is not actually going to interact with your wax and product, which will give you much greater flavor purity. What happens with the plasma technology is you do have a heating coil, but that heating coil doesn't touch the product. It superheats a quartz bowl, which then gets really hot, kind of the way that a rig functions that you would blowtorch or use an electronic mechanism to heat a quartz. And it will superheat the product and then vaporize, and you will inhale from the quartz and not from the coil directly. So let's show you guys what we have here. Here is the tank. That's what comes in the kit. We also throw in some extra gaskets that go in between the glass and the coil. And we also throw in a dab tool for you guys that has a little keychain ring right there, so you can carry it with you wherever you go. Very useful. Has a nice little curved scooper, so you get dabs into the chamber. So let's go over this tank. Here you have the mouthpiece, which is actually the tank cover assembly as well. This is a larger mouthpiece. Now, what we've noticed is we had to create a longer mouthpiece so that it doesn't get too hot, since it's very close to the quartz here, so you won't feel any of that heat by where you're actually inhaling. Now, we do know that when you have a larger glass piece, as any of you glass guys know, larger glass pieces are a little bit more susceptible to breaking, so we have replacement parts readily available on the website in case if your experience gets too fun or a little bit too medicated, and this glass does end up on the floor or ends up breaking. But we did go out to make it pretty strong. I'll tap it here against the microphone. You know, it's not like a brittle glass. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to just gently wiggle the glass off here to expose the coil and the bowl system. This is going to be your replacement coil. This eventually does burn out, and you will need to get replacements, which we do readily sell on the website. However, this is meant to be a high wattage setup, so it's not like something that's going to burn out every week. Many people that have bought this kit, it's been over a month before they've even reordered a coil, so they are very, very happy with the performance as well as the longevity on this thing, as long as you're not going outside the wattage range and your battery is regulated properly. So this is the top, which is the mouthpiece in the glass. This is the bottom coil. Here's your 510 thread that is going to screw into your mod battery or your high power battery. Your concentrates are going to be filled here. These are your gaskets that you do have replacements of that connect your glass over to your heater assembly, to your coil, which eventually, from taking on and off, they will get a little bit worn out. So you have a couple replacements here. Now, the very first time that you are removing your glass, as you saw, I gently wiggled it side to side because you do get some air pressure that gets stuck in there when the gaskets are fresh. So the very first time you're removing it, it could be a little bit harder to remove. You don't want to break the glass or put too much pressure on it. So just gently wiggle it side to side, hold it down, and it should come right off. So let's go and get into filling the tank. First off, I'm going to go ahead for this part is show the battery that we're going to use, and a battery that it works great with that is available on HoneyStick.com. It is our sub-ohm sport battery, which is our 60 watt battery, 510 thread. You're going to leave your mod off. Now this is a quartz bowl, and the heater coil is down below encapsulated between two glass pieces to superheat this bowl. So everything on this bowl, and especially at the very bottom, is going to get super hot once you heat this baby up. Now to fill this tank, you're going to want it to fill inside the bowl and preferably to sit at the bottom of the bowl. If you have very kind of sludgy stuff and it's kind of spackled onto the side, don't worry. As the unit heats up, that will go directly into the bottom. These quartz powered tanks are very, very efficient. You do not have much wastage if you do not get the product directly on the coil. So efficiency, flavor, and purity are the key benefits of the plasma style tank that is the non-contact coil. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have your dab tool, you're going to take your dabs, you're going to want to get it in there. Do be careful because this is made out of pure quartz, so it can break if you impact it or you're too rough with it. But it is pretty durable. So once you fill it up, you can test out your coil, and I'm going to leave the top off. So to vape, you're going to want to get the top back on, but I want to show you guys how it fires up. So I'm going to click it 5 times. Now you see it powers up. It's prompting me to see if it's a new coil or not. If it's the first time you're using it and you're breaking it in, go ahead and hit that plus sign that it is a new coil so that the programming runs it. And already the mod is set at 40 watts. So let's dim the lights here a little bit so we can really show you how that coil flares up. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. As you can see, what it does, it gives you an initial really high burst to get it heated, and then it dims down a little bit to be sustainable, and it kind of controls its heat and its output. But this glass gets really hot, so once you do fire it up, don't touch that quartz glass because anything around it will definitely be very hot. This metal base also is set up to transfer the heat out, so the base in your battery won't get hot, to really keep the heat in and around that quartz bowl glass. Now once you have it filled up, you're gently going to want to wiggle this back down so it comes into contact with the base. Now, what is of key importance here, when you close it up, is you make sure that this air slit, your air inlet, is not, you're not holding it, it's not being blocked by anything, and that the mouthpiece shaft does line up with the hole there, and it is partially over the quartz bowl, which is to give you a really good direct contact inhale from the vaporization that's occurring in the quartz bowl. Now, for cleaning this tank, once you've used it and all of that, or you're transferring coils or putting it up, it's actually very easy. Now we're going to gently wiggle it up. There we go. Those gaskets are still fresh, so as you see, I'm being real gentle and ginger with it. You're going to want to gently clean the inside of this quartz bowl. Now, generally, what I recommend is you just take a little Q-tip once it's cooled down. Don't go touching it like I just did. Once you have a Q-tip with isopropyl, any type of isopropyl over 65% will work just fine. You just dip the Q-tip into the isopropyl, you gently swab the inside, get it loose, then take like dry tissue, dry it up, or you can even just fill a little isopropyl in there, let it sit, dump it out, dry it off, however you do it. Just make sure you're only using isopropyl alcohol. It's a good sterilizing cleaning agent. It will loosen up any of the oils and gunk that you have in there. It'll clean it. It'll basically bring your coil back to new while it's still being used. Just make sure that you dry it up before you use it, or put it upside down, let it dry out, evaporate naturally. So that's a good way to clean your coil. For the plasma tank, it is available on www.vapehoneystick.com. It is a great way to get into non-contact coil vaping, where your coil does not come in direct contact with your concentrates. So it is going to give you that extra pure, flavor-filled vape experience. Now, this is a higher watt unit, so you will definitely still get some good rips off of it, because a lot of people say with the non-contact, they're not a dab rig, you might not get as good of a vapor amount. But due to the high wattage that you can put into this coil, you can definitely still get some good rips off of it. And I'm sure that the YouTube guys, once they get and start reviewing it, you'll see for yourself that you're going to get a very nice flavor-filled experience. You can really taste your concentrates, have maximum activation. And also, it is very efficient because you're not wasting coils. There's no wax going underneath any coils or going into any slits, because this whole quartz bowl is getting hot. So it's very, very efficient if you're one of those people who wants maximum usage out of your concentrates. So for the Plasma 510 vape tank, make sure that you check out our website, www.vapehoneystick.com. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at official Vape HoneyStick. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram as well to see pictures and promotions at official Vape HoneyStick and Vape HoneyStick. And make sure that you use my special promo code when you're shopping on the website of Honey420. That's Honey420. And make sure that when you are Plasma 510 vaping, that you're out there and you're doing it responsibly and carefully. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers.